What's going on, gamers? So we got some answers here about Helldivers 2 and Game Pass, which of course I figured that wouldn't happen. We got a lot to talk about, and then we got also Puetrorock 2 giving his take on Helldivers 2 on Xbox, but not on PlayStation Plus subscription. So we're gonna look at both of these because it gets pretty interesting. So it says right here, Helldivers 2 dev says they have no plans on putting it on Game Pass. Yeah, of course not. Remember what I told people in that one video I made that this is a test, and they're going to be testing all the metrics on Xbox with this game. See if you're going to buy it and support it, and what type of microtransactions you're going to buy, and stuff like that. You see what I mean? To make Sony's live service look better. That's the main thing. This is why this is the first game they're choosing to put on Xbox. It's a statement. The way you make your first appearance on it, it says a lot of things. First impressions, all that type of stuff to me. So that's the way like I'm looking at this. I've seen what other people say that means more single player. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but like I said, let's deal with this first. Let's see what happens here before we even think about anything else. And remember what I told you also about Game Pass is that it's training somebody not to buy anything. So they're not interested in that. That's not why they came. If that was the case, they would have put it on PlayStation Plus. It would have been a free game on Plus. It would have been a game on Extra. They didn't even put it on their own service. And that's something to think about. So this is a test in that sense. So let's get into this. All right, we'll get to these comments in a second, but going over, let's look at this article real quick, and then we're going to talk about some things. The Helldivers 2 team has confirmed that there are currently no plans to release the game on Game Pass. From those wondering, just yesterday, Arrowhead Game Studios came in with some shocking news confirming the release is releasing for Xbox after being exclusive to PlayStation and PC for over a year. Players will finally be able to fight for democracy on Xbox consoles as well. This announcement has had many wondering whether the game will be available on Game Pass. And now Arrowhead said, definitely not. Well, like maybe, no, definitely not. Like statement. No, sir, that's not happening. As I told you, most people are not going to want to do that. Come into Game Pass. Definitely not happening. As soon as the release date for Helldivers 2 was on Xbox was announced, many players began to wonder whether they should pre-order the game or wait for a possible Game Pass announcement, because that's how they've trained people to think. But you see, like I said, you can't reflect that everywhere else, because most people do not want that. However, Arrowhead has clarified the situation. And then if you go over to this right here, it says right here, definitely not. No plans to bring the Game Pass. This is where this happened right on the Discord. Elias, this isn't happening with Helldivers 2 on Discord. Arrowhead community manager Boscanator responded, definitely not, to a message saying, it will be interesting to see how well Helldivers 2 performs on Xbox. That's going to be the actual aspects. And then we're going to get the sales because they're not going to be able to hide it. Sony's game. So ain't gonna be no hiding this. It will presumably sell extremely well because of all the praise it received since releasing on PC and PlayStation 5 in 2024. Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, you guys got to support this. It fits your world perfectly. But on Xbox, there are sometimes a reluctance to buy games due to the Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, everybody knows that outside of the community. It's just pretty obvious. So I think we kind of get the point here, right? That's not going to happen, but that doesn't matter. It's you got the game, and are you going to support it? So it's going to say a lot. You're going to get the answer of the community with this game. This is the best metrics ever to test right now, out of nowhere. And Sony said, hey, out of nowhere, they got you. I don't even see it coming. Now let's see what you got, right? Perfect star, ship troopers, dude, bro, shooter game. Co-op online, all that. So yeah, no excuses. We're going to see what happens. Buy the game. Not everything can be on Game Pass. Well, duh. I agree with you though. Though they actually want to make money, Game Pass doesn't do that. Obviously, smart move. It destroyed Xbox and ruined gaming in ways. But I wouldn't say it ruined gaming because Xbox is not the whole of gaming. You know what I mean? PC, Nintendo, and PlayStation are way bigger ecosystems independently, like big time. So no, Game Pass can't ruin gaming. The only way for that to happen is if Game Pass went to all those platforms that was being promoted on there. Yeah, then it would tank everything. And that's one thing I don't like about Microsoft, because they would run around, and if you allowed them to do that, they would. And you see, they tried. Yeah, they were willing to tank off everything and be in the position that they are now. That's what would have happened. That's why you got to deny them. So now destroying the Xbox marketplace, yes, and everything. Yeah, you're right about that. But ruined gaming? How? No. Better effing not. Spend the $40. Now, has it hurt companies in gaming? Has it done some damaging? Yes, in that sense. But yeah, ruining the whole, that's impossible. Better effing not. Spend the $40. Arrowhead has earned it and deserves it, and it's the best co-op shooter ever made. Now, I understand what he means. This is I mean quality product because they know they already sold 20 million copies and stuff like that. Like, that means you were able to do it. You see what I mean? That's way better than being put on the service and being thrown a paycheck. That ain't your potential. That potential is way bigger. And there's always potential for like massive growth. So, of course, this is still, like I said, the massive model of the entire industry every day and will be for a very long time. Steam, everybody's looking for sales, but they're buying. Cheap keys on PC, same thing. Looking for sales, they're buying. You know, PlayStation, looking for sales, they're buying. Nintendo, looking for sales, they're buying. But like, if you look at Xbox, well, yeah, Gamepass. So, with the, you know, a niche aspect of that community that still buys games on there to that extent. So yeah, are we ready to get to what Puetrorock is saying now? This is why we kind of had to get into this. So now everybody has their answer on that. Don't sit there and wait. Either buy the game or wait on the sale. Then we ready for this? This is actually pretty funny.
Streets, and I just want to say one thing only. Sony gave Helldivers to Xbox gamers before they gave it to you. And by what I mean is they gave it to Xbox gamers before they gave it to you. You are the people who are subscribed to PS Plus Extra and Premium. You are subscribed.
He has a good point because they just said that 40% of the users subscribe to Premium. That's why I said that this is a different demographic approach. They'll probably do that after. They have a strategy. It's very interesting.
To Extra and Premium, so you can access a library of games, and one of those games is not Helldivers 2. But it's on Xbox as of August. So Sony gave the game to them before they gave it to the rest of the PlayStation gamers who, one, bought the console, and two, are subscribed to a higher tier of subscription services.
Which means they're more interested in making more pure profit, more pure microtransactions, and putting that what Nix's over to Xbox. You see what I mean? Because that's still, let's see how much they're going to buy, how much mass profit. They're going to get nothing but sales and profit off of this because this is a premium title, right? Just like I said about Marathon Premium, $39.99, right? With their service. They're not giving you free to play. You have to pay for it and then give them microtransactions after that. Helldivers 2 is actually good, though. So it's definitely worth the money and worth supporting. But what I'm saying is that what I'm going to add into that is that it's very clear that they're interested in pure profit and they're not interested in service dumping. That's why they did that, too. You can't argue with that. It's very true. They chose, instead of giving their own base it on a subscription service, to go to a market. It's the smallest market in gaming, but they're still willing to take that pure profit because it's a smart ecosystem for that. You know what I mean? It reaches every demographic for Helldivers. So they want to test that, and why not? You know what I mean? It's not going to hurt their brand because it's just a live service Helldivers game. And they already put so many games on PC that already happened. They saw it. You still can't damage PlayStation. See? So that's why I said all those people tripping for what? It doesn't matter, bro. Like, I'm telling you, that's not going to hurt PlayStation. Their brand is so strong, it doesn't matter. This type of stuff is fine. But doesn't that make sense about what I'm saying about you could see what they're interested in? It's the same thing the way Epic runs their whole business model. It's off of just buying stuff. So they made it free. But there's no subscription to none of that. Or no, you know what I mean? No service. Or no Game Pass or none of that.
Meanwhile, the Xbox cats who, you know, are not going to play this game on a PlayStation console, are not going to play this game on a PlayStation controller, and are not subscribed to a PlayStation service, they're going to play it on their console.
I wonder if they're going to force Xbox users to sign in to the PSN. Maybe not PC, but I wonder if they're going to do that.
Now, I'm not subscribed to Extra and Premium, but some of you are.
Same.
And some of you didn't buy the game, you know, whatever. But If the game was added to your subscription service that you are paying for, I'm pretty sure you would have gave the game the chance and then probably done the money transaction. Sony would have gotten more players on the game from their own fan base. But no, you guys don't get to play the game. You have to buy it. Even though you put in more money towards PlayStation by buying their console and paying for PS Plus Extra, and for those premium, which is even the highest tier, you don't get the game. But Xbox gamers who didn't buy the console, buy the controllers, don't pay for their subscription service. They pay for Gamepass. You know, the service that gives them day one games. So they get a service that allows them to play online and play day one games. You get a service that allows you to play online, but you don't get to play day one games, and you don't even get some of the PlayStation owned games. That's diabolical, bro. That is diabolical. Sony's actually diabolical with that one.
So he doesn't like that. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that always don't like those type of situations. What he's saying is, as I understand, but them putting games on their day one, bro, you know that would destroy the market. Like I said, they're not going to do that. They're only interested in pure profit. So it's a system that works. It's only in their ecosystem. But yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why it's a big deal to people for Helldivers 2 going there. If you understand that concept of pure profit and business, then that's the way this guy, Totoki, is thinking. You see what I'm saying? Now, as far as it coming to Plus forever, I don't know, maybe down the line, but right now that's not going to happen. Because they still view it as a premium title that they want to sell on the market, and they don't even want to put it on their own service. So there's the answer. Sony's telling you a lot right there. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. This is an interesting one. All right, y'all. We know that there's a lot of pissed off ponies in this world after that announcement. But what I'm telling them is that it really doesn't matter. You see? And to end the topic on some things, what do you guys think is going to sell more that day? Because Gears going to PlayStation means that it has a higher chance of selling, I think, than Helldivers 2 on Xbox. But maybe that could be a little bit of a choice because it's a game that fits that ecosystem. So let me guys know in the comments, what do you think is going to sell more? Gears on PlayStation Day 1 or Helldivers 2 on Xbox? Interesting, huh? Topic. All right, y'all. Peace out. Have a great day. Later.